Ain't Got It Yet podcast, episode 29. Appreciate y'all pulling up, joining us, man. I'm here with Lex, owner of Tuft Luv. I appreciate you joining me on the show.
Yes, I'm happy to be here. Cheers.
Absolutely. I've been following you on Instagram for a long time. You do a lot of dope stuff. Can't wait for my rug. Absolutely, it's gonna be right here. Y'all gonna see it pretty soon. Absolutely. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do a whole reveal where we move this table out of the way and just
Oh, when the rug comes, the table moves. The table is moving back here when the rug comes.
Oh yeah.
We'll put the drinks back there.
I'll be honored.
For sure.
We'll be on every episode moving forward.
Exactly. And you have see if we can get you like a watermark that we can put down there on the screen too.
Yeah, you should.
But anyway, how you been? How's everything going?
I've been great. It was nice having a long weekend. I got some rest I needed, but yeah, I've been good.
It's kind of awkward. We just talked for like 30 minutes before we turned the camera. I'm like, how's it going? We haven't just been talking for 30 minutes. You're like, what do you mean? I just told you I was 30 minutes ago.
We already talked about what we did this weekend.
Well, did you enjoy the holiday weekend?
I did. I was hoping I was going to get invited to a cookout. I guess I just need to make some more friends because I got zero cookout. Yeah.
Anything in particular to celebrate, or are you just kind of hanging out?
No. I mean, I guess my sister and I went out to eat this weekend. We enjoy trying different little places to go to. So,
you know what? I've been getting more into that recently. I've been in San Diego all my life and never really, up until maybe 2 years ago, never really ventured out and try, the food places or the speakeasies and all the dope stuff we got here.
That's crazy.
I always been, do my job and go home and just.
No, San Diego's
I've been getting out. Yeah.
Yeah. You'll get turned into a foodie.
Mm-hmm. That's the plan. That's actually the plan. That's been the main thing that I've been doing.
You're going to get thick out here.
I've been trying. I was actually just telling my mom, I've been trying to gain weight all my life and it just never works.
That's the difference between men and women. Men are always trying to gain weight, women trying to lose weight.
But see, even as I've gotten older, my brothers, they have to actively work to not gain weight and to not get heavy. And I have to actively work to gain weight. I can't keep weight on to save my life. Even when I play football, protein shakes, creatine, nothing. Can't keep no weight on.
You're not eating enough tacos.
That's what
now
it is.
Now that you're a San Diego foodie, you're going to start...
Yeah.
Filling them jeans out.
For sure. Speaking of foodie stuff, you've been hitting the places here in San Diego? Actually, before we get there, how long have you been in San Diego? Because you're not from here, right?
Yeah, so I'm not from here. I moved to San Diego 4.5 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've been here 4.5 years. So I'm from Reno, Nevada. I moved to Virginia to do my undergrad. I went to ODU. And then once I graduated, I was going to move to Texas. And my sister was like, come to San Diego. So we drove across the country.
Nice.
And I've been here ever since, yeah.
Nice. You like it more than your hometown?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
I do not ever go back to my hometown.
You don't like Reno at all?
No.
Nothing there for you?
No.
Okay, do you think it's a thing of because you're from there or because just Reno is not just the most friendly place or, I don't want to say friendly, but just not the best place?
Probably both.
Okay.
Probably because I'm from there. I mean, I feel like a lot of people, too, when they just, grow up in a place, you have, a lot of trauma tied to, your childhood places. So I'm even when I go home to visit, it's, 2 days, and it's, I'm done.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I was just telling my friend, because I was telling you off camera, I was in Arizona over the weekend. And being out there, I was telling my friend, shout out to my boy Jesse that lives out there, I was telling him, I fully, you understand it now, being from California. So you understand when people move here, bro, I gotta get to California, I gotta get to New York. So you understand it, but I didn't fully understand it until I started spending more time in Arizona and how it's feels like an old Western town, not much to do. It's all the buildings look all dry and run down.
And dusty, I said.
Yeah, it's I fully understand why someone can grow up there and be bro, I gotta get to California. I gotta get the hell out of here. I never truly understood it until this past week.
It's hard to compare to San Diego. I feel going... Well, any place,
okay.
anywhere. I even lived in Virginia, and it's hard to compare living out here just because the weather's good, the food's good, you're by the beach. The only thing that sucks is the cost of everything.
Gotcha. Yeah, for sure.
For
sure. So you came out here, was it, did you dive right into, because you're a counselor, did you dive right into counseling when you got out here?
So
I know you obviously went to school for that.
Yeah, so I did my undergrad, like I said, in Virginia. So I didn't dive right into counseling, but I've been doing mental health work. So when I first moved out here, I worked at a homelessness shelter. So I was doing case management for people who had, just been going, literally if you're at a homeless shelter, you're at rock bottom. So all types of mental disorders I was working with, substance abuse. So since I've worked out here, I've been in the mental health field, I would say. But I wasn't really doing counseling then. Yeah.
Okay. When did the counseling start?
So the counseling started, when I started my master's. So probably like 2 years ago. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You loving it?
I do love it. Yeah. I'm really into like building the community, especially like mental health community.
I used to supervise before and after school programs, and one of my assistants actually, she used to do counseling.
Okay.
And she said she had to stop it. She was like, I couldn't wait to do this job, and then I did it, and it was too heavy. She was like, I couldn't do it. I had to stop. I was like, counseling? I was like, I've heard like therapists say that, but I've never really heard a counselor say that.
So counselors and therapists are basically the same thing. So she might be maybe like a school counselor, but the reason why I say counseling is because I don't have my therapist license yet, because I like get my degree in December. So technically it's the same thing, except I don't have my license yet.
Okay.
But there are other types of counselors, like school counselors, which their work is a little bit different, because it's more like
I don't remember exactly
academic.
Okay.
But it is heavy. That's why I do so many different things. Like counseling isn't my main like job, like, because it is a lot.
You said it's not your main job?
No.
So the main job is Tuft Luv?
So I was doing tufting full time for 6 months, and then I just got back into work. So like I said, when I first got out here, I was working with homelessness. So my other really big thing is housing. So I now work in supportive housing, and I help get like contracts and grants so that more supportive housing and affordable housing can be built in San Diego. And then I run the programs that are put in place at the affordable housing so that our people, like Black and brown people, aren't stuck in this like generational cycle of poverty. So they're like tied to mental health and financial well-being classes and stuff like that. So
that's really dope. That's really, really cool.
I
should have met you a while back. We definitely go. I'm gonna tap in with you about that for sure. That's right on. I don't do very much of it at all right now, other than the kids that I film and helping them get to college and stuff like that. I mean, it's community work, but it's I'm already in basketball, so it's an easy thing. It's not out of the way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but I do want to get more involved in those types of things. I'm gonna definitely tap in with you.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, because there's a lot of different ways you can be involved in the community, even if it's just mentoring. Especially since you are from San Diego and you have podcasts and stuff like that. A lot of people are into that. So I'm sure a lot of kids would have a lot of questions for you.
Absolutely. For sure. How do you, like you said, with it being a heavy job, how do you not take it home? How are you able to disconnect and or do you take it home?
No. I used to. When I used to work at the shelter, I've done CPR on people. People were passed out on the ground. I've had to administer Narcan. I have witnessed, seeing my client dead. So when I was working at the shelter, being exposed to all of that was, a lot. And I was, drinking wine every night. I was fresh into, the helping field. So I was definitely taking it home. So now I just remember that you can only do so much. You show up, you give what you can to that person and help them heal in whatever ways, and then you have to go home. And if you take it home with you, then it's going to bleed onto your next client, to your next day, into your own life. So that's one thing I have to remember, is that I'm doing what I can, you know.
Man, that would be a real struggle for me. I'm a softie anyway, but when I worked in childcare, we'd have I remember this a kid. He normally would come to our program, but this day he didn't come to the program. And his mom, he never made it home from school.
Yeah.
His mom called the school, called the program and was like, yo, where is he? He was he didn't come today. He's not, we want to help, but he's not our responsibility. So she called the principal, and I remember I clocked out and went to go help her find him. And I was jacked up when I went home. And so I could only imagine hearing heavy stories from people every day. That's Take a special person for sure. More power to you. It's
crazy because it's you can see somebody and you just would never expect the things that people have been through. Anytime I hear someone's story, I'm always equally as shocked every single time. And I'm I cannot believe that you went through that. So,
man,
It
God
can be.
Bless you.
Yeah, but I mean, also it's very rewarding.
I'm sure.
Like, it's very, very rewarding. Like, some of my clients are domestic violence. So helping her build her strength and get to a point where she sees value in herself, like, that's very rewarding, but it takes time. Like, you're planting seeds, like, but to see someone get to that end goal of where they're like, I'm good, is like, it's nice.
I'm sure. That's dope.
Yeah.
I'm not even thinking about like the rewarding side. I'm thinking about like all the challenging parts.
You literally have to. That's literally the only way that gets you through it, because
that makes sense.
it can get dark. It can get dark. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Whew. Like, so like, I mean, I don't, like, no thoughts like anytime soon of like leaving it alone. I mean, other than like, you know, tufting full time.
So probably once December hits, I'm probably going to cut back on the amount of clients I'm taking, because I am doing so much. I'm literally like making rugs and work full time and doing counseling. So I'll probably, instead of having 10 clients that I have right now that I see throughout the week, I'll probably cut down to like 3, so that I have like time to myself. Like,
and how do you, as far as like gaining clients, how does that work? Do you like work at like a company? You work for yourself? Like, how does that work?
Yeah. So I work for a nonprofit called Urban Restoration Counseling Center, and they provide 15 free sessions to people in the community. And so it's founded by Black women.
Nice.
All the therapists are like LGBTQ and or like Black and brown people. And yeah, they provide therapy to the community. So I would just still keep doing it through there. Yeah.
That's dope. That's really cool. I never say the name of it again.
Urban Restoration Counseling Center,
dope.
or URCC. Yeah.
I think I have seen that acronym. I just didn't know what it was. That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's
really
cool.
Yeah, because if you want to like practice on your own and take insurances, it's in California, they make it very hard for you.
I see.
So
I see. If you could put like, well, maybe you do have one. If there was like a mission statement or like a goal for like you as a counselor, what do you think that would be? I don't know if that's like
if there's a goal for me as a counselor, I feel like my main goal as a counselor is to help people get to a point where they can take on challenges by themselves, like helping people feel strong enough, helping people get to like the best versions of themselves, because a lot of the times people go to counseling because they feel like they're at the end, like, you know, and so giving people those tools to get through those problems, because you're going to continue to have issues all throughout your life. It's just learning how to, manage them.
Got you.
Yeah.
I like that. Let's see what else we got up here for you. Right. Oh yeah. Let's get into the Tuft. How exactly? Because like I was like trying to do more research on it today. All I've ever seen is like what you do. It's like people making the rug. So what else is involved in like being a tuft artist? Is that how you say it?
Yeah, or like a fiber artist.
Fiber artist. There we go.
So fiber artists are really anybody who's working like with like fibers, so like yarn. So to each person that may look different. For me, it's like rugs and wall hangings.
Got you.
And some people even get like more intricate with it and do like different textures of the yarn. So
what made you want to get involved? Like, what made you want to do that? I think it's
during the pandemic. Honestly, okay. I was on TikTok one day and I saw someone doing it, and I'm like, because I've always been an artist, so I'm always that person who's doing DIYs and painting and whatever else. So when I seen that, I was like, I can do that. And then I spent one of those stimulus checks on the Tufting gun, and I was like, damn, this is $300. So now I was like, I got to see it through. So I started, the first rug I made, a lot of people were hitting me up and were like, I want to buy one. So
nice.
Yeah, that's how it started.
Nice. And I seen you had to close the wait list and everything. I'm like,
it's been closed, yes. Nice. You're on my wait list, though.
Yeah, I seen that. I seen that when you posted. I seen that. I was like, yes. Nice.
So nice. So like I had when I went full time doing rugs, I opened my wait list and it closed, and then I opened it again and it closed within like 2 days.
Nice.
So
nice. That's really cool. I know you said you've. I guess you're being creative. Then you said doing stuff around the house. That's that question's already answered. I've always been creative. I've always been drawn to that's an art as well. I don't want that was almost said something mad disrespectful. I've always been drawn to Like at first, like I played the drums and the piano.
Okay.
Well, before that, I went to performing arts school, so I was like doing like, a little bit of acting and dancing.
Yeah.
And then I did like drums and piano, really because I was like at church and I didn't want to sit. I wanted to play the drums at church.
Yeah.
Then I got into like writing poetry and short stories and like, writing music and stuff. So I've always like been creative, but it's never like been outside of like the traditional arts, I guess is the best way to say it. I've never like ventured outside of like dancing, acting, and like photography and like, you know, the typical ones. You know?
You should, because it's people are always surprised at like transferable skills. So like there's those components that can make you good at like other things.
That makes sense. And literally like almost like my mom told me to stop saying it, but like the arts, I was okay at sports. I was a decent athlete, but the arts have been like the only thing that I've really ever been good at. And I, like as a kid, I actually found out pretty recently. I was like beating a dead horse. I've said it so many times on the podcast. I found out within the last like 2 years that I have ADHD.
Okay.
And I didn't know that growing up, and so I was always the arts, like I could lock in and focus, and like I didn't. I could do it all day. Like other things, I couldn't focus on it like, at all. So I felt like I was like, I'm probably never going to be I'm going to go to college, but I'm probably never going to be a good student. But if I lock in on the arts, I'll be able to figure something out. So that's always what I did. And I stayed within the things I named, I stayed within that because I felt like this is what I'm good at. So I'm going to stay here. If I go out there and try something, I may not be good and I may not maintain focus on it. The things that I'm good at and I maintain focus, I'm going to just live in this area right here.
And sometimes I feel like a lot of people navigate on that fear as well, like not venturing out and trying new things, of like the fear of like, okay, like what if I'm not good, or what if I can't focus, or what if I don't see it through, what if I don't, you know? So I think you should, honestly, because it's also good for your mental health.
That's true.
Like,
that's true.
Especially like you were saying before, like if this is like your hobby and your work, like you need a hobby outside of all this, or it ends up feeling like a chore. So that's how I was feeling too. That's why I went back to work, because I was doing tufting full time for 6 months, and I was like,
it started to feel like a chore.
All y'all about to get exit off the list. This is about to be no more Tuft Luv. It's about to be closed.
Orders canceled.
Yeah, I really was. There's still a lot of people on my wait list, and I was about to be like, sorry.
I feel it.
Snooze, you lose.
I feel it. Yeah, you gotta take care of yourself first. But yeah, I'm gonna try something. I don't know if that's gonna be the lane that I jump into, but I'm gonna try something. Especially because, like you said, I truly don't have any hobbies. When I first became a photographer, that was all I wanted to do. I would get home from work and I'll be like, I didn't think about nothing else. I love doing this, and I still love it.
Yeah,
I still love it. But like you said, it's my job now. So you need something that like you can.
Yeah.
You get peace of mind that you not like have to like maintain this extreme focus on, because this is how you make your money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I've been actively trying to find hobbies pretty recently. Like for like in the last like 4 months, I want to say. I still haven't found any.
That's good, because when your hobby becomes your job also, like I don't know if you're a perfectionist like I am, but like I overanalyze everything. So then it's like no longer fun. Like I'll be doing a rug and I'm like, oh, there's this one little teensy piece of this is out of place, this is out of place, or that's out of place, or what are they going to think about this, or like, are they going to like it? So it just doesn't end up being fun, because you're just like...
The thing that helped me get past that was like, bro, you posted it. Like, I was to the point where like I'd see something in a video and delete the post and like go back to my laptop and fix it and then repost it. I got to the point like, bro, the likes, the comments, the views, they're all there. Just leave it, bro. Yeah. Everything ain't gonna be perfect. Just leave it. So I've like had to force myself to do that. Yeah. For real.
It's hard.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely.
It's hard. Literally, I have to tell people, come pick this rug up, because I'm going to trim it till it's nothing. For real. I'm going to keep it.
Okay, let me ask you this, because I don't need to preface it with that. Have you run into people that either don't understand or don't consider that it's art and that there's a process to it? I feel like no, because like you're pretty good at showing the entire process, and it's not like a thing that people know about. But have you run into that at all?
I haven't run into anybody telling me that it's not art. People are normally pretty impressed by like the amount of steps. That makes sense. But I think that because of how I edit the videos, people think that it's like an easy process. So when I tell people like it's 4 to 6 weeks for your rug, they're not understanding like that it takes me 6 to 10 hours to tuft the rug, and then I have to glue it. That has to dry for 2 days, and then carving the rug. Like the Mac Miller rug, I spent at least like 10 hours carving that rug. Wow. So I spent like 10 to like 15 hours carving the rug. So there's like 20 plus hours that go into each of these rugs.
Wow. I wouldn't have.
Yeah, a lot of people don't expect that. So that's why I'm like posting. I'm like, can you guys please take care of your rugs?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Please.
That makes sense. I asked because it was something that like I try to be respectful of everyone. So I guess that's why it's something I didn't envision. But it doesn't really happen anymore. But like when I first started, like you hit somebody like, oh bro, can you come to my game and shoot a video for me? Like, yeah, I got you. And I quote them the price. Be like, damn, bro, all you do is press a button and I'm like, all right, well then tell your mom to come press a button and hold the camera.
You record the video.
And that was like a pretty consistent thing. I feel like, dang, bro, for real. And at first I was thinking like maybe it's because like I just started. Maybe they don't feel like I deserve that number. But like it's the words that follow it. Damn, bro, all you do is press a button and hold the camera.
Yeah.
I'm like
that's
sure,
crazy.
That's how it looks.
But it's more that goes into that.
Yeah,
the
I gotta
editing.
take this home and edit for like 2 hours, 3 hours when I get home.
Yeah.
On top of standing on this baseline and filming your game for 2 hours. Like, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, I've had people say that to me where they're like, damn, that much for a rug? Like, how come on Amazon is this price? Mm-hmm. Go get it off of Amazon then. One, the quality's not going to be the same because it's built in a manufacturer. And two, my work is just not in your price bracket. Mm-hmm. So I'm never offended just because I have a lot of people that are like waiting in line, like that are willing to pay. Mm-hmm. But at first I found myself like explaining myself to people and they'd be like, why is this much? I'm like, but then I'm like, I don't need to explain myself to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, facts.
If you're broke, then say that. you just, this ain't for you. I'm sorry. You just go get some from Ross.
You know what? Facts. You know what would kill me? And I don't know if you've run into this, and I can go on a whole tangent about this. What would kill me is like, like athletes and like especially basketball players, they're like they wanna show like what they're doing, and especially if they grown and get money. Like people I think it's the tackiest, corniest thing in the world when people flash money for the camera. Yeah. But like I'll see these dudes buying the latest shoe, all kind of weed on the camera. And I'm not judging. Live the life however you want to live. But I'm saying
disclaimer: we're not judging.
We're not judging. But what I'm saying is, you're showing that you spend money all the time.
Yep.
And then, especially for like a professional athlete or someone trying to get to college, you hit me up for some footage and then want to complain about like this is your job, right? Are you taking your job serious? I see you spending money on BS. Yeah. But you don't want to. Come on, bro. Like I said, I can go on and on about
and that's like also an investment too. Like when you're spending money for someone to come out and create content for you or take your pictures, like that's an investment. Like I had one of my girls take professional pictures and I think she charged me like $200 and some. And I use those professional pictures everywhere I go. They be all up on LinkedIn. I can get my $250 worth.
Got to.
Like, so you really do like use that stuff for... Yeah, I don't.
That's dope. Yeah. I'm glad nobody really like, because that not really discouraging, but like, yeah, it could be a little discouraging. Like at first it's frustrating at first, but it could be like slightly discouraging. But then you like, I don't really do it for the people. I do this because this is what I love to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good to hear that you haven't run into that too much.
Yeah, no, literally, I just say that to people now. Like, it's out of your price bracket. Maybe next year.
Have you? I don't know, maybe that's not a fair thing to say. Maybe your other clients would be like, man, why not mine? But what's been your favorite pieces to create so far?
That's so hard. I feel like every time I make a piece, I'm like, this is my favorite. This is my favorite.
I feel that.
I feel like I really enjoyed making the Mac Miller one. That was nice.
I wish I could have filmed that for you too.
That was nice.
Especially after I wanted to do it anyway, but after I seen the finished product, I was like, dang, for sure.
I know, but I'm like, we would have to get you out there at the right time. Because like I said, it's like a multiple process. So you'd have to like come back.
I'm
sorry. I'm easy to go on tangents too. I'm like, so Mac Miller was my favorite. I really enjoyed making this rug for my best friend. I also enjoy making rugs for people when I know there's like a sentiment tied to it. So my best friend, the rug that I just made of the shoe, the Travis Scott Jordan ones,
I saw it on the bed today with the shoes, and I saw that.
Yeah. So for her, I knew this rug meant a lot because she was gifting it as a birthday present to someone who means a lot to her. So she was like, literally when I gave her this rug, she was crying.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, so for me, those rugs where I get those types of reactions are my favorite. Like the Mac Miller rug. The guy who bought it, he bought it for somebody who meant a lot to him, and he was like, she was crying when she saw it. And I was like...
That's dope.
Thanks.
That's very
good
for you.
So those ones where I get those types of reactions, I'm like, okay, those are my favorite ones.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope.
You never think of that. You're like, a rug made you cry?
I was just thinking that.
Or like a rug, so it's just...
that's something right there that like I said, you haven't dealt with it for a while. But say people are complaining about like, oh, like that for much for a rug and da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And then you get a reaction like that. Like that's enough to like, you know what? I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Sure. That's dope. Is there like, are there any like famous or prominent fiber artists that you follow or like that you're into? Because this is all very new for me. I know one other guy that makes rugs similar to you, but he's not like very like consistent. He shows that like he does it, but I don't think I've ever seen like a finished product from him, honestly.
So I wouldn't say famous people, but when I first started getting started, I was like, okay, I need to do content and I need to get my views up like on TikTok. And there's a black tufting community on TikTok.
Wow.
And they like took me in. They're like, okay, Lex, like here's some tips on this. Like here's how you can get your followers up. We literally all go live together and we'll just like all be tufting. Like, so there's Rebel Rugs and there's Rugs by Fred. Those are two black tufters that are really good. There's a couple other ones out there too, but the tufting community on TikTok, like, we all help each other out. Or if you like go to my videos and look at my comments, there's a lot of people asking me questions and like we help each other out. Like we don't gatekeep. Like if you're having trouble with your clippers or anything, like we all like will give each other tips. So
that's dope. That's how it should be.
Yeah, I would say that above like anything else.
That's dope. That's dope. I'm in I'm a part of a similar thing here in San Diego. We have a podcast. I forget what we call it, like SD podcast community. It's really just a group chat on Instagram with all of us in there. And that's all we be doing. We're like, oh, bro, your audio sounds really good. What mics are you using? Like, and it's like,
see, that's nice.
Maybe one of them interviewed me. So he and I have gotten two of them. I was on two of their podcasts. And me and those guys have gotten pretty cool. But outside of like, I don't know anyone personally.
Yeah.
And everyone in there is just so helpful and so like, wants to see everybody win and wants to see everybody do well. Yeah. And that was like, and we spoke about a little bit off camera about that too. That was something I was dying for that here in San Diego. Because like I'm from San Diego, like the city, but I went to high school in North County.
Yeah.
And so by the time I come back out here, and when I first came back, I wasn't a photographer yet. I wasn't a photographer yet. And then when I became a photographer, I didn't know about like creatives not wanting to work together and it's like this super competitive energy here in the city. I had no idea. So when I be talking to people, like I'd meet like, be meeting a cameraman, let's say I meet like a producer. And I like go take some pictures for him in the studio. Be like, hey, I met this artist the other day looking for a producer, bro. You should.
Yeah, same, connecting
people. And they'd be like, I don't really know, bro. Like when I meet people here in town, I'm like, bro, you're from here. Why are you acting like that? And I would hear that more and more from more and more people. And then I started to see myself that it is sad, hate to say it, but it is a real thing that we have here in the city. I'm trying to help the city with that in my little ways,
like it not being a competition. I would say that same thing. Like I really find importance in connecting people. So I'll do the same thing. Like if my friend is looking for this, I'm like, hey, I know this person who does this, or you should connect with this person who does this. So I'm the same. And that's good that you guys link up and do that because I think there's a couple of tufters in San Diego.
Okay.
I think there's like during Juneteenth, I saw two people at booths and I made sure to like go up to them and like introduce myself. I was looking at their work. I want to make connections with tufters in San Diego.
That's dope. I haven't, with all due respect to them, I haven't seen any of them. But again, it's not something that I was ever like looking for. You know what I mean?
I think that they were like newer. Like when I was asking them questions, they're like, oh yeah, we just started like within this like last year. But as you know, it's hard like pushing out content. Like people only just now are able to like recognize me because I post so much. Which is a full-time job in itself. You got to really post all the time to get like your algorithm on people's stuff.
When I was in Arizona, I was telling my friend that. And actually one of the guys that interviewed me when he came here, and I was like when you came, I was still like finishing setting up. And he was like, bro, like, he was like, where's your producer at? I was like, I don't have a producer, bro. Because when he came, like I had on my, he was doing the interview, it was his content. Yeah. But I set up my cameras too, just so I could have it too. Yeah. And he's like, where's your producer? While his producer is setting up his cameras and lights. I don't have a producer, bro. I was like, I do it. He was like, bro, I got somebody to do all this. He was like, and then he's like, I don't even post my own content. Like, I got a whole team with me, bro. I was like, yeah, I do all this by myself. He's like, yeah, my editor sends the reels to my sister. He's like, my sister does my posting for me. She'll like copy and paste the caption and send it to me and make sure I like it. And I'll tweak a couple things. But he was like, yeah, my sister does all my posting. My editor does my editing. I got a producer. He's like, you do all of this shit by yourself, bro? I'm like, I don't know how you pay for all of that.
Yeah, if I had the money, I might. I mean, it's an investment. Because time is money. Yeah. So, I mean, if you did have a producer and an editor, you would have a lot more free time to do whatever it is.
I'm going to get there. I like I like that I can do it all and that I do it all for myself. And I also like that reaction from people when they realize that I do a lot of this by myself.
Yeah.
Like, damn, for real? Yeah. But nah, it's time for some help, though, for sure. It's time
Man. For some help, for sure. It's frustrating editing. I'm not an editor. When I be trying to edit my TikTok videos, I don't know how people do it. Jeez.
One of my homies was sitting over my shoulder while I was editing a podcast one day. I actually enjoy editing. It can get very tiring. It's like, bro, I don't want to do this part right now. But I do enjoy it. One of my homies was over my shoulder. I didn't even know he was there. He was just like, he's like, bro, you like doing this shit? Like, that's fun for you, bro?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. He was like, that's for you to sit in front, like, that's fun to edit that show. I was like, yeah, I enjoy it. He's like, more power to you, bro.
He's like, let me just double check. You like doing that?
And it was like a kickback thing, but I had work to do, so I was getting my work done. So he was just looking at it like, but yeah, I like it. It does get tiring, very tiring. Editing and then posting and then making sure you post like on time or like make sure you do everything that you're supposed to do when you post. It's a it's a thing.
Yeah,
it's a thing for sure.
You really have to keep up on it, and it pays off. Like when I was doing it full time, I like researched the algorithm with TikTok. You got to post every single day at this time. So I was doing that for like 2 weeks, and I was having videos hit like 45K views.
Nice.
Like all of my videos were like hitting lots of views. But the moment I stopped posting every single day, done. You're done.
And it makes it like for me anyway. I was the same thing. I was at one point on Instagram. I was posting 3 reels a day for like, I want to say like a good like 2 or 3 months. Really.
Dang.
And I saw growth, but not like up to par with how much work I was doing.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm going to cut back, bro. Like this isn't, something's got to give here. Like the growth isn't matching how hard I'm working. So I'm cool. And now I'm to the point now where like, I make my reels and I post them, but it's not like I don't stress about getting them out. It's like I made it, I'm gonna post it, but if I don't post it at 9 or 12 or 3 or whatever the perfect time is, I'm gonna just post it. It don't really matter.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm just like, because then also you'll do all that work in the video. You're like, this video is gonna, it's gonna blow up. No, it's always the random video of you not doing anything, talking about anything is the video that blows up. I'm like.
I've been like, especially when I was still doing the show with Sarah, like we'd be like talking about something like that I think is like really thought provoking or like really and I'd be like, oh, this is gonna be the one. And it was one where you're talking about like, because I always wear a hat, and I was like, I wonder if I take my hat off, am I a hat fish? And that video went crazy. And I didn't expect that video to do nothing. And I'm thinking like, Actually, speaking of that, should I do it? Yeah. I had I just interviewed Norman Powell. He went to Lincoln. He plays for the Clippers. And I talked to him about when he left the Toronto Raptors to go to the Portland Trailblazers. And he was talking about that he didn't want to leave Toronto. And like, of the videos that I've posted from that interview on Instagram, that video's got like the most views. It's done the best. I was actually sitting down eating lunch yesterday. And one of the kids that I used to film for, he goes to a USD now. He's like, oh, big bro, you viral, you lit. And I have no idea what he's talking about, right? He sends me a screenshot. Should I say their name? No, I'll stall them out. An account on Twitter ripped my video from Instagram and posted it on Twitter, and it was almost at 1 million views.
Dang.
Didn't give me any credit, no nothing. And I seen it, and by the time I seen it, it was at like 500,000. I like finished eating my dinner, go outside, come back in, and it's at 1 million. I think right now it's at like 3.3 million. They didn't give me no credit, no nothing.
Damn.
And I was like,
did you comment on it and tell them to give you credit?
Yeah. And they said something about like the season's right around the corner. It'd be dope if everybody could hit us with a follow. I was like, the season's right around the corner. Be dope if y'all can give me some credit for the work I did.
For reposting this video.
And then another page, I'm sorry, I'm going on a tangent. And then another page posted it and gave the page that posted it first, like tagged them as the... I'll leave it alone. I can go on all night about that.
See, that's the other thing. Bro. Being an artist, like getting like your credit too.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's a big deal.
Yeah,
and that was what like it'd be different if like because it happens all the time during basketball season. Like I'll post something and somebody's like mom or grandma will like rip it down and put it on their page and like they just don't know.
Yeah.
But if you create content, you know that like you're supposed to credit the person who shot it or credit where it can. You know.
Yeah.
And like, so this account, they knew what they were doing. So
Yeah.
they saw like, oh, this little dude from San Diego. You know, that's what I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I'm assuming. But yeah. I saw that. I was like, bro, no way. Like, I finally hit something that go like 1 million views. I ain't even got no credit for it. Anyway.
I would tell them.
I did. I DM'd them. Because I was going through their I'm trying to leave this alone. I'm trying not to sound like I was going through their tweets and all the other video content that, even pictures, all the content that they have there, they credit where they got it from.
Yeah.
But they didn't do that for me. So I DM'd them. I was like, I see that you guys do give credit to people. Why I couldn't get none? Like, it would be courtesy to at least ask me if you can use my content first. But I get it. Once it hits the internet, you can do what you want with stuff on the internet.
That's a hard thing.
I get that. But at least, like, if you're going to use it, like, just give me some credit. That's it. Just put the little camera emoji and put my name there.
Exactly.
That's all I'm asking for.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Yeah. People, I don't know if it's like a pride thing or what. Me, like, whenever I get an idea from somebody, like, you'll even see in like some of my videos, like, I'll tag the person. I'm like, got this inspiration from this person, or this person taught me this technique. So I'm really big on giving people.
Yeah.
Because the same one, because there's techniques that I've came up with in tufting, and I'm like, I want you to give me my credit.
Oh, yeah?
Give me my credit.
If you want to share.
So I started creating the wall hangings and putting like wood backings with LED lights on there. So I've never seen anybody really doing that. Like, I've seen people put like the carpets on the walls, but I never saw someone take that step and like put the wood behind it and put the LED lights behind it and make it like that. So there's been some people who have recreated it and given me my credit, but
that's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. That's really cool. I was about to say I've seen a couple other people doing that. That's dope to know that came from you. That's really cool. Check you out. Originator. Is there I don't know, maybe not because you're just started, but do you like, because I know, like, with me, like, I sit and think, like, okay, like, I enjoy doing my podcast, but, like, I need to find a way to, like, kick it up a notch. Like, I need to find a way to, like, make it more entertaining for my viewers. Like, I need to add something to the set, or, like, find, like, a new segment to do. Like, do you, like, sit and, like, what's something different I can do with tufting to, like, set myself apart?
Yeah. I try to think of, like, creative ways to, like, do my videos, because, I mean, there's only so many ways you could put the same steps together. So I try to get creative in my videos. So I started like putting myself in the videos, or I know that with creating content, one of the aesthetic things is like showing yourself like setting up stuff. So like doing that. But also another way I try to step up my rugs is just the way that I carve. So I try to add like depth and dimensions to like make it look very like layered. So
I see.
With my content, I try to step it up, and like with actually doing my rugs, I try to step it up too.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been at a wall for a long time. Like
that creator's block.
People tell me all the time, like, and especially when I'm downtown, I like literally for that reason, because people are like, yo, I like the podcast, bro. Like, I get that a lot when I go downtown.
Yeah, it's nice when people recognize you, right?
Absolutely.
People just started recognizing me. I'm like,
dope.
that's nice.
Yeah, that's dope.
That's cool. You get recognized.
Good for you. But yeah, I'm like I said, I feel like I've been like, and I've been saying it like for months, like, what can I do to like make all three of my shows like more, especially this one in particular. Like, what can I do to make this show like more entertaining? Because I already like all my guests. I feel like my guests have a good time when they come and enjoy the conversation. I mean, like, as far as like the people watching, like, how can I'm definitely gonna add stuff to the wall. I'm definitely gonna add a rug for sure. But I'm like, as far as like the what I say or like segments that I do, I'd be like, what can I do to like make this show better? You know?
Yeah.
I'm at the drawing board every day. I haven't really come up with much. And then I came up with like one segment, and then I'd be forget. Actually, you know what? I can hit you with my segment. I was like, I came up with a segment. I always like forget to do it, but we'll do it today.
I 100% know what you mean about that writer's block or that creator's block. I stopped creating for like almost a year, maybe like 8 months. And what got me out of my creative block was creating something for myself. So what if you just like created something for yourself with no intention of like posting it, or like just for you that you would enjoy?
That's a good idea.
Or just talk about something that you've been wanting to talk about.
You know what I think will help? Honestly, now I'm doing a podcast about a podcast. You know what I think will help? I try not to like talk about like what everybody else is talking about.
That's good.
So like, I don't know if like when everybody was talking about the girls throwing the bras on Drake at the Drake show, I purposely didn't talk about that because everyone was talking about that.
Yeah.
But I think maybe I should like talk about it like briefly and find like, and I feel like I do that with topics a lot. Like I'll, like when I talked about the boat brawl, like we talked about that, but then we went into like childhood fights that you've had. Like, so we found a way to like flip it so where that's not really a topic. But even still, I really like, I don't even like to bring up like the topics that everyone else is talking about because everyone else is talking about them.
Yeah.
But I do sometimes feel like maybe I got to talk about like more like current stuff to like, I don't know.
Well, what do you want to talk about?
The stuff that I've been talking about. But like, and again, I'm still podding about podding. I don't do it for the views.
Yeah.
I do it because I love doing this.
So what do you think, why do you think that you're in like a creator's block then? Like, what has gotten you to the point where you're just feeling like stuck?
Because I feel like while I do still enjoy it, I feel like I've been doing the same thing for a while now without like making it better. I don't know if that's because of like I come from sports. So if it's like if you start your freshman year and you can't make a three at all, by your sophomore year if you still can't make a three, it's like, bro, what have you been doing for a year? And so I feel like I've been doing the show. Like I had Sarah here and I left, and I feel like I've found my footing without Sarah, and I'm pretty good at doing the show without Sarah now. But now I feel like what's another way I can level it up? And I haven't figured that out yet.
I would say to do something to get you out of your comfort zone, honestly.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because it sounds like, because I feel like a lot of artists have that same thing where they'll get into this routine or they'll get good at, so you're really good at doing this, but now you're like bored. Like you love doing it, but then you're like what else? Like what else can I be?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Do something to get out of your comfort zone.
I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that. I should write that
Because it's
down.
hard. No, yeah, it's hard getting out of that creative. Or like what I said, finding a hobby. That's also what helped me. I was like, okay, let me just paint for a week. Or let me just create this. Like, let me just get my creative juices flowing in a different way other than what I like actually do in my art. Okay.
I'm going to do that. I was about to say I need to write it down, but I'll hear it again when I'm editing. So I'll write it down then.
So you can write it down then. Or like, I don't know if you like ever go, or have I seen you do this? Like asking about topics on like Instagram?
No, I've never done that. And I always tell myself like, because I film on either a Tuesday or Wednesday. And I always tell myself like on like Saturday or Sunday I should post like, hey, I'm finna film in a couple days. Like, what y'all want me to talk about? And I always forget to do it. But I do need to do that.
Or like saying like, what's something you guys never see on podcasts that you would want to see on podcasts? Like,
no, it's funny. I was just about to ask you if you watch a lot of podcasts. Like, what are your favorites? And like, what do you?
I don't watch a lot of podcasts. I wish I had more time to watch them, but I don't.
Okay.
I don't. If I do, I like watching like the funny ones.
I feel it.
I used to listen to this one called Call Her Daddy. I feel like that was like the infamous girl one just because they just would just talk about raunchy stuff and it was just funny. So
did you ever listen to it was like basically like the black girl version of that?
No.
It was oh man, I can't think of their names. Horrible Decisions.
No.
Their podcast is called Horrible Decisions. They spell whore WHORE.
That's funny.
Horrible Decisions. Yeah, and it's basically like the black version of. I think
I
they were actually doing their show first.
Really?
And Call Her Daddy like blew up and got the Spotify deal and all that. But I think
figures.
Exactly.
Figures.
It's a whole nother topic. But yeah, I think it's basically, in my opinion, they have the better show. Horrible
I'm gonna listen to it.
They're dope. And then the girl on there, anyway, you ain't got to pot about potting. But yeah, I like that show a lot. I do. I used to listen to it, not every episode, but I used to listen to it a little bit. I try to listen to a lot of different podcasts, even the ones that aren't really for me.
Yeah.
It's because this is my job. Like I tune into the girl podcast sometimes. Yeah. Just be like, what they doing over there?
See what they're talking about on that side. Yeah. Not in the sports realm.
Yeah. I try not to like. I really like people think because of my job that I'm like heavily enthralled in sports, and I'm really not. I'm heavily enthralled in basketball, but I hardly ever watch football. I'm not gonna watch like week one. It probably happened. I don't know. I was into football before the whole Colin Kaepernick thing, and since then it's been hard for me to be a fan of the NFL.
Yeah.
It's been really hard.
Yeah.
And I never really followed college football ever, except for when Reggie Bush went to USC. Other than that, like I never. So it's just basketball for me, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
What are you into outside of the? Like, what do you watch on TV?
My guilty pleasure is reality TV. I love 90 Day Fiancé.
Yeah.
I will watch. They have 90 Day Fiancé, 90 Day the Other Way, 90 Day Europe, 90 Day. They have literally all these spinoffs, and I will watch every single one.
Nice.
I love it. I love reality love shows.
Did you ever see the Married at First Sight?
I love all the reality love shows. And you know what I think got me onto that was back in the day when Flavor of Love had his love show. Ever since then,
I actually binge watched that during the pandemic.
Man, it's so funny. So now to this day I watch Love at First Sight, Love is Blind.
So have you seen the Love Island and Temptation Island? Have you seen those?
I'm not really into Temptation Island. I'm not really into Love Island either. I'll watch it sometimes. My sister has it on, but they're more of like a younger crowd, so I feel like some of the stuff is kind of like cringy, like watching them do. So I like the older love shows.
I get you. I was really into the first season of Married at First Sight.
Yes.
And the second season came, and it was weird. I didn't care for it. I'm weird like that.
The last season has been good. The last 2 seasons have been good.
Okay. Yeah, I said that to somebody. I was like, yeah, I watched season 1. They're like, bro, we're at like season like 20 something. Yeah. We're way behind, fam. I was like,
yeah. I like the latest season. So
that's cool.
That's what I do. That and in my free time, I like to go to like live music things. So like I saw you at Sessions. Trying new places to eat. Like you'll always see on my story, like me out eating somewhere really good.
That's what's up.
That's what I like to do.
Dope. That's dope. I actually, up until maybe like a year ago, and I've been a musician pretty much my whole life. I started playing the drums when I was like 9. So I've been a musician my whole life. But I didn't realize up until like maybe like a year ago how much I forgot actually how much I enjoyed live music.
Yeah.
Sarah and I went to Neo Soul Tuesday. We had a blast in there. And I was like, you know what, I got to go to Neo Soul now. And I've been, Soul Sunday.
Soul Sunday, yeah.
I've been all about it. So I had to go to Sessions too, especially after interviewing them as well.
Yeah.
I had to go to Sessions. It was really dope too. Actually, yeah, shout out to Sean and Evan. First Sessions at the Shop Live, man. Y'all did a great job, man. Looking forward to the second one. That was dope, man.
Next one is December 1st.
I'm gonna be there.
It was nice. It was given like Tiny Desk vibes, except like better.
Yes.
Like a better like ambiance.
I said that to somebody. Was like, bro, better? I'm like, yes, bro.
Better.
Yes, for sure.
Better.
Yes.
Because the aesthetic of Tiny Desk, it's just like.
I said the same thing. They 100% hit their mark with making it like you're in an office at somebody's desk and they're just performing it.
Literally.
They hit that mark.
It's exactly what they said.
They nailed it. But I still enjoy watching them, but I'm kind of like over the aesthetic of it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of over it.
Yeah. During the pandemic, they like branched out or let people do it at their houses. That was interesting.
That was dope.
I definitely like the sessions, the sessions at the shop vibe.
I can't wait for the next one. I was actually talking to Evan today. I might actually help him film at the next one.
Oh, you should.
Yeah. And it's funny. I was laughing about. I DM'd him. I was like, bro, I had all my cameras in the car. I was ready. But when I parked, I grabbed my camera bag and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just enjoy today. I'm not gonna work tonight.
That's good.
I'm gonna have me a drink and I'm gonna just enjoy tonight. So,
That's good.
He was like, I feel you, bro. He's like, yeah, I might need your help for the second one.
See, and people in the community like Evan and Sean are people who like love to like build people in the community. Like they'll help you. That's why it's so easy for you to want to like help them as well. Like they both have been very supportive in my tufting journey, especially Sean. I've known Sean since Neo Soul Tuesday 4 years ago when I moved here. And when I first started, he was hitting me up like, Lex, you got to start a business. You got to own a tufting shop. You got to do this. You got to do that. So them two are very, very, very supportive in the artistic community in San Diego.
That's really, really dope, bro.
Yeah.
I was about to, it's kind of, I guess it's tacky because it was a DM, but I just thought it was really dope of him to say that. Like I said, when I interviewed them, that was my first time meeting them. I had never spoken to either of them. I had been like DMing them like, yo, I want to interview you guys. That was my first time ever speaking to them. And then when I hit up Evan today, I was like, hey, bro, like, and I sent him actually the when his girlfriend Britt, when she sang at Soul Sunday, I was like right in front of her when she finished up, and I filmed that. And I sent that. I just wasn't sure if he knew I filmed it. Yeah. So, like I sent it to him. I was like, I don't know if you know, bro, but I filmed this. And I'm like, this is what I do. Like if you ever need a second shooter, like let me know. And he was like, oh, what's your rate? And because it's like we trying to build together, I'm like, bro, we can figure something out, bro. He was like, nah, tell me your rate, bro. I don't want no homie discount. Tell me your rate. We gonna get you paid. Like I don't do.
That's how he is. Yeah.
I so much appreciated that because you're like, and I'm not really mad at it. But like you get when people are like over there, like we gonna, like when I said let's figure this out. Like I don't want to say any other person, but he could have easily been like, okay, bet, like, all right.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And he's like, no, bro, tell me your rate. He's like, even if I can't make it to that, like, we're going to figure something out. I don't want a homie discount.
Yeah.
I very much appreciate that. Because a lot of people, they'd be searching and looking and hoping for a homie discount. You know what I mean? Off the bat, you know what I mean?
Same.
Yeah.
I have people do that to me all the time. Or like, I posted that I barter. People have been trying to barter their laundry detergent. I'm like, you know damn well. You know good and damn well. Like, people will try to get over on you if you let them.
That's true.
I'm
Very
like...
true. It's been easy for me to barter because, like, we live in a content world and I make content, so people are always like, oh yeah, let's do it. Like, I actually met I met a tattoo, or not met, but I seen a tattoo artist on Instagram the other day. And I was like, yo, let me film for you. I'm always trying to get some work. I'm like, yo, let me film for you. And I was like, actually, if I come up with a piece and I give you some content, can we just trade? And she was like, yeah, let's do it. I was like, oh, best. I'm finna make a few videos and take a few pictures and get a tattoo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
yeah, same. Yeah. A tattoo artist hit me up too, and I was like,
nice.
Trying to do a little trade ski.
I haven't gotten a tattoo in a long time. I'm due. I ain't got a tattoo in like 3 or 4 years, maybe.
Yeah, mine's been even longer. Mine was since I've been in Virginia, so yeah.
How many tattoos do you have?
I have a lot. Well, I don't have a lot. I have a lot of big pieces.
Oh, okay,
so I have my entire back done. I have my whole thigh done. I have my calf done. I have the back of my calf done. I have both of my feet done.
Nice. Did the feet hurt, or did you do the numbing cream?
No, I would never do numbing cream.
Why?
Not judging you if you do numbing cream.
I've never done it. I've been considering it because I got like
don't do it.
I have a tattoo above my knee and then one on my calf here, and I want to like get the piece finished, but it's gonna be like over bone the whole time. So like maybe I should do the numbing cream.
No, do not do that numbing cream.
Is that for weenies? Is it for sissies? That's why you say that?
Yes.
Okay.
You want to see my calf tattoo? Oh, I'm ashy.
You're fine. I got some lotion over there if you want.
Wait, let me see how ashy. Okay, I'm kind of ashy. Don't put it on camera, but I have this whole thing done, and the back of my calf done.
Oh, nice.
So, and I fell asleep during that.
Really?
Yeah.
Hell nah.
So you better not. If I find out that you did that numbing cream,
I can't do the numbing cream now.
No,
now,
what
I'm
the
gonna post
heck?
a video and I know you go comment. Did you do numbing cream?
Listen, tattoos. I mean, it's mind over everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally, that's what I thought with this one. I was like, if I just meditate, I bet I can make myself fall asleep, and I made myself fall asleep.
Wow.
So,
I have a piece on my stomach, and it hurt
no.
From the moment he put the needle on me to the second he finished.
See, but when you were doing it, you were
time.
probably like, oh, this hurts. So when you just keep thinking that the whole time, it hurts even worse.
Well, no, for me, I knew like with pain, like I like make the faces and everything, and like I was in like the chair that was like close to the door.
Yeah.
And I'm laying on my back, and I don't want everybody coming in and just see me laying on my back making faces.
Yeah.
So I put my hoodie over my face, and I'm like, but after like a good 30 minutes, it still hurt, but it was like, all right, I'm chilling now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like every other tattoo. But yeah, I was supposed to, it's on this side. I was supposed to go and get the other side done. This was
heck no
over 10 years ago. And I have a soldier here, and I was going to get an angel here and like get something to connect it. But ever since then, because of how much pain it was, I haven't gone back to get my stuff. I've got maybe 5 or 6 tattoos since then. I'm like, nah, I'm not doing stomach. Too much pain.
I wouldn't do that. Yeah, once I finish my leg piece, I'll be done.
Okay, what you going to get on the other leg?
No, so mine's all
finished.
Japanese art, so I just want to fill in this gap right here.
Okay.
I'm not going to expose my ashy legs.
I got you. No pressure.
I was not expecting my leg to be that ashy. That was really surprising. I'm honestly embarrassed.
No pressure. It's all good. Nobody saw it. So
Nobody, yeah.
You good.
Just
you good.
crop that
I
part out.
I'm not even going to hold you. I meant to shave before I got here today, and the fact that I couldn't shave before I got to film today is that I had to like, I almost said it like 4 times before filming. I was like, just don't say it, don't think about it, and you'll be fine. And now that I said it, I'm thinking about it again. But I meant to, I feel you. I'm the same way.
No, I literally couldn't even tell. See, it's just us. It's just us in our own head thinking about.
Yep.
That's how it is with creating too. So,
Are you, did you deal with any, like, have you had any, like, imposter syndrome or, like, any, talk to me about that.
I have imposter syndrome with everything I do.
Really?
Everything, with counseling, with doing like my affordable housing stuff, like with creating.
Wow.
I have imposter syndrome all of the time.
Why do you think that is?
I have no clue. Why? Yeah, I think it's maybe, I don't know if it's just because like I'm my toughest critic or just like, I don't know, but yeah, imposter syndrome when I'm doing my rug, counseling, like literally everything. I'm like,
How do you get past it? Just create through it?
Fake it till you make it.
I feel that.
Like, listen, even if I'm not doing a good job, at least I'll fake it.
I feel that.
That's half of it.
I feel that.
But it really is just, I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I do definitely have, I feel like everyone does though.
I'm a pretty confident guy. I attribute that to my parents. They like pumped me and my brothers full of confidence before we ever left the house. So I never really like dealt with it until becoming a photographer.
Yeah.
And I think because like I started swinging for the fence. Like I'm going to the Drew League. I'm going like where like where it's like the big name photographers are going. I remember being in some of these places and at some of these games and in these gyms and feeling like boy, I do not belong here, bro. Like I do not belong here. But then like certain things would happen in my career to like validate me.
Yeah.
You know,
okay.
Like, it would help me get over it. And I'm like, okay,
yeah.
I do belong here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think, I would say that's what helps me too, is having a big accomplishment or people giving you your flowers. I feel like, not saying I rely on recognition, but when people are like,
it helps.
Like, damn, like, this is the dopest rug I've ever seen, or seeing people cry when they do the rug, or when I'm in counseling and people are just like, I feel like a whole new person, or just, so getting that validation I feel like helps. That's why for me, I'm always giving people their flowers.
Me too.
Like you will always see me like on my business page, I'm always reposting people's stuff. Like I'm always like shouting people out. Like I'm really big on giving people their flowers because, you know.
Me too.
It makes a difference.
Absolutely it does. You never know, like, you never know like how much somebody might need that to keep them going. I actually, matter of fact, when I was in childcare, I went to, and you go to, like any other job, a million trainings all the time. And I remember I was at like another childcare training, and I'm sitting there like, when it first started, I'm like, it's finna be whack like every other one. But this lady was like, she was from like out of state, really detailed, had a different approach to childcare, was really dope. Probably the best training I had ever had. And at that point, I was like maybe 9 years in, the best training I had ever had.
Wow.
And I'm asking questions throughout and like all this stuff and everything. And then afterwards, like, oh no, she's like passing out cards like, if anyone wants to keep in touch, like if you ever have any questions, da-da-da-da. And I pulled her to the side and told her, I was like, yeah, I want to tell you, like I've been in childcare since I was 17. It was the best training I've ever had.
Yeah.
She was like, oh my God. And like started crying. Like put her hand on her. She was like, I needed to hear that. She was like, honestly, like I've been thinking about quitting this.
Yeah.
She was like, so the fact that you told me that, like I'm gonna keep going. And it's like, and even before, like I know like what compliments do, just because I've always gotten compliments. I've been a compliment giver. Yeah. But like that moment, and then there was another training that I had was like, you know what, I'm gonna be OD with the compliments. I'm not gonna be like it's always gonna be genuine. It's gonna be sincere.
If you feel it, then say it.
Every time. I never hesitate about a compliment.
Yes, that's exactly how I am. Yeah, really, because you really do never know what people are going through. Honestly, or when people feel like quitting. Like there's been so, especially as like an artist myself, or even like there's been so many times where I'm just like, I'm gonna say I'm about to delete all this and act like it didn't happen. Like it's frustrating and it's hard and it's
a difficult like double dutch as a creative, because it's like you don't want to be so like validation based, but when you're someone like for me, like or anyone. Now I want to say like make it like it's only me. Like anyone that like you create things for other people to see, you're in some ways looking for some validation. Yeah. That's why like I always like I hate when like a podcaster or like a rapper is like, I don't care if you do it. Like bro, like I'm not about views, but you wouldn't put it on YouTube if you didn't want anyone to see it.
And honestly, for any type of creator, you need views to make money. I need views to get more people to buy stuff. Exactly. Like you need more views because I mean that's what a podcast is getting people to like watch your stuff. Exactly. Like everyone needs you need supporters.
And I say like I don't want to. You absolutely do. And I say I don't get like so wrapped up in the views, because if you're posting and just hitting refresh and just seeing the then you'll drive yourself crazy. Yeah. And you're not gonna. I feel like you're not gonna create authenticity.
Yeah, that's different.
So I say like I don't create for it. It is maybe like 30%, 20% for the views. But I truly enjoy setting up my studio and filming and like getting my questions together for my guests. Like I truly enjoy my job. But like, I don't like when like, anyway, it's a weird double dutch to be a creative. To like,
it is.
I want to do this for me, but I put it out for people to see it. And if people aren't reacting the way I would like for them to, it's a discouraging thing. But you don't want to be so validation based, but you low key need validation. Yeah. It's a weird dynamic.
It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
The other thing too is like, especially like with your videos and like you the stuff that you talk about in your videos. I've seen some of your videos talk about like mental health. You also never know, even if you only get 5 views, you never know if those 5 people really like needed that. Like, you know, because I think I saw one interview you did where somebody was talking about being an athlete and getting hurt and like transitioning like out. Like my best friend, she plays in the WNBA, and me and her are always talking about her mental health because that's not really talked about.
Yeah.
You know, not only just in the Black communities, but specifically like if you have some type of light on you.
For sure.
So,
and I feel I have a lot of sympathy for the people that always have the light on them, and especially someone that you have a light on you and you're expected to also be a light for people.
Yeah.
Like, people look at you to like brighten their day. Like I would not want to be Kevin Hart. I'd want his money. I'd want like the success and all that. But like for when people see you, you're supposed to make them laugh.
Yeah, you can't have a bad day.
Like he had a whole like almost had a divorce. His dad died.
Yeah.
But when he goes outside, people are expecting him to make them laugh.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not on that today. I'm grieving. I can't make you laugh. I'm grieving. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's tough. Like, to people expecting you to be their light.
And then when the moment you're not funny, people are the biggest critics. Or,
It's got to be so.
He's not funny anymore.
Yeah. So he's the same nigga in every movie. He's not funny. Da 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 da. It's like
I've definitely heard that before.
I've said it before, and I believe it. I mean, he definitely switched it up since then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like, but when you, as a consumer, you say those things. But when you like,
they're people.
Try to put yourself in his shoes, or like try to like think like as a creative. He's like, bro, like. He's getting like $20 million a movie to be that same nigga all the time. I would be the same guy in every movie
that's
too.
what they want. Then, I mean, they are very specific in what they want. So it's hard.
For sure. Man. Sheesh. I like it though. I don't want to like, you know. I like the platform that I've created for myself, and I don't want to say I've created for myself. I like the platform that I have, and I like the light that I do in some ways like being a light for people. Not in some ways. I do enjoy it. But it can be a thing where it's like I don't want to be your light today. I just don't.
I feel that.
And at first you feel bad saying that and thinking it, but it's like, nah, it's true. Like, well, you be my light today, bro.
Yeah, honestly, when you are always pouring into other people's cup, like you either got to find a way to pour into yourself or start surrounding yourself with people who are going to pour back into you. And that's what I started doing, because I was feeling that same way. So I started surrounding myself with people who pour into me in the same way as I pour into them.
Good for you. Actually, as a matter of fact, on Saturday, a friend of mine, her name is Heather, she usually comes to a lot of my podcasts and takes pictures for me. Shout out to Heather. She's one of the dopest photographers in San Diego.
Shout out to Heather.
But look at that. She's gonna appreciate that. She's probably gonna give you a couple flicks now for that. She's a sweetheart. But one of our friends, how do I say this? One of our friends is dealing with something heavy right now. And I spoke to her, and I was like, "Yo, have you reached out to so and so?" Just because I know like he needs people right now. And she was like, "No, I haven't. I know what he's dealing with." She was like, I'm training myself to be careful with people. She was like, I love him, but I'm training myself to be careful with people like him because he doesn't give me anything. She's like, I like being there for him, but when we speak, he only takes. And by the time I get off the phone, I'm drained. And so like, and I know he's going through something heavy. I get it, but
she doesn't have the capacity to show up for him.
I don't have anything to give him right now. She's like, he called me, I seen his call, and I had to let him go to voicemail. Like, I didn't have it. Because I know what it's going to be when I pick up the phone. And I can't give him all that right now. I can't. She's like,
that's good that she did that.
I'm actively creating those boundaries with everyone in my life right now.
Yes.
Like, good for you.
Yes.
Good for you.
Yeah. I think that's important. Like, realizing what capacity you have to show up with people, because same, especially because people know what I do and I'm a counselor and I do like therapy. People come to my DMs sometimes. Wow. People that I don't even know will come to my DMs and will like as a therapy session. And sometimes I have a little bit to give where I can do that, but sometimes I'm like, all I can do is give you a resource right today. Like,
wow.
Because, you don't,
I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, because, like what she said, she doesn't have anything to give.
I kind of, like, saw that early that you need to create, like, set boundaries with people. I kind of saw that early from my dad. My dad's a pastor, and like, I would see my dad like randomly. Like, we finished up dinner, we wrapping up, we watching whatever we watching at the end of the night. We finna go to sleep. My dad's like actively getting ready for bed. And his phone like, oh, pastor, we need you da 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 da. And he'd get dressed, go to the hospital. He up there praying for people, going to like book hotels for people that ain't got nowhere to stay. And I've watched him work a full day, go to Bible study, come home, do the family thing. I know he's exhausted. But he's like, I'm the pastor, I'm out. And he like, I don't know if it was a thing where he felt like he couldn't set that boundary because he's the pastor.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing that as a kid and being like, number one, sorry, Pop, I don't ever want to be a pastor because I've seen what you've gone through.
Yeah.
And then number two, I see that like you gotta like, no.
That's a good point.
I'm not coming to the hospital tonight. I know you need me there, but I know I'm staying with my kid. I'm staying in tonight.
God forbid the pastor tells someone no and their kid's on their dying bed.
And could you imagine what that person might say or do on the
Oh
online
my
these
gosh.
days? That I called the pastor to come pray for my son my son just got diagnosed with cancer, and the pastor told me no. Could you imagine what that would look like online today? If somebody said that about TD Jakes?
And God forbid that whoever passes away.
Right? I didn't even think about that part. Right.
And they gonna blame them.
Right. It's like all we needed was one prayer and
I ain't never thought about that.
Oh man.
Dang.
Mm-hmm. It made me low key like not.
I have a new respect for
it. Made me not like church people for the longest time. And I remember at one of my dad's like appreciation services, like I remember I was like, saying some kind words from on the mic, and I remember saying that like to his congregation, like in middle school, high school, I really didn't like y'all like that because like, y'all was always either taking my dad from me or making him to go do something when he was tired.
Yeah.
I didn't like a lot of y'all for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And setting boundaries is probably one of the most important things you could do.
Yes. Mm-hmm. In every aspect of your life. I'm always talking to my clients about boundaries. And even something that I actively work on myself is setting boundaries. Because sometimes, like, when you care about someone or you really just want to help someone out, you're just like, okay, like, this one time. But once you give too much, people are going to have that expectation that you got to keep giving and giving and giving. And then when you can't give anymore, who's the bad guy?
I don't want to say it was necessarily like I was somewhat of a light or like giving to people, but I was like the funny guy, like the class clown in high school. Like always cracking jokes, always trying to be funny. And I was like mad short and smaller than everybody. So I was like, oh, funny dude, he's good, you know what I mean? So like whenever I was like, I remember a day that I just like, I wasn't upset, like I wasn't sad, like I just didn't feel like being on that day. I didn't feel like being funny. I was just chilling. And I remember like at lunch, this girl came, she was like, is everything okay? I was like, yeah, I'm fine. She's like, well, normally, like, you over here, like, making this one laugh and doing this and doing that. She was like, we're used to having a funny guy here at lunch. Like, what's up? I was like, I just don't feel like being funny today. She was like, you're not finna come hang out with us? I was like, no, I'm finna sit right here, eat these nachos, and go back to class. I don't feel like being funny today.
Yeah.
And I, like, that was just, like, a small glimpse. And even then, at the time, you're not thinking, like, I need to set boundaries with people. You're just thinking, like, people know me as this. Maybe I need to stop doing that so much so they don't expect it so much. But yeah, at that age, maybe like 15, I wasn't thinking like, okay, I got to set boundaries.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's why it's important for people to teach their kids that too, like young. Because when you're a kid, especially our generation, we're not taught to have boundaries, especially not with an adult.
Not at all.
So, if or when I have kids, that's something I'm going to teach them is how to have boundaries. So as an adult, you can have good boundaries.
I appreciate that a lot about kids today. That's a great point. So you can have good boundaries as an adult. I appreciate that a lot about kids today. I actually love that about my son. I don't make him... I'm like, say hi to so-and-so, and if he doesn't say hi, he just doesn't say hi.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you want to go and give so-and-so a hug?
Nope.
No.
Okay. That's good.
He's like, oh, you're not finna come give me a hug? You said no.
Yeah. Go
try to give him a high five. If he don't give you a high five, then you just ain't getting no high five today, bro.
And that shows how you are as a parent, because back in our generation, it's like, don't be disrespectful. Go give your uncle a hug. Go give your auntie a hug. And now us, in our generation, we don't do that with our kids, because so many of my friends have kids and they're like, no, my kid doesn't have to hug anyone. For sure, don't sit on anyone's lap. Like, they set different boundaries. They're just like, if my kid says no, then that means they don't got to.
Facts. You said that. Speaking of, sitting on someone's lap, that was a wild transition. Did you see the video going crazy? The guy, I guess, was barking on I think it was his wife or his girlfriend. But anyway, his daughter's mom, because she it's her daughter as well, let her daughter sit in her uncle's lap.
No, I haven't seen that.
And the dad walked in and seen it and like brought her in the other room and was like, that is not okay. Don't ever put my daughter in nobody. She was like, it's my uncle. Like, you're tripping. He's like, I don't care about none of that. Don't put my daughter ain't sitting in nobody's lap.
Yeah.
And I was like, it got me to thinking about like just the things I would hear. Like I've brothers. I didn't have any sisters.
Yeah.
When I would go to like my aunt's house, like my female cousin's house, like the things like, oh, Uncle so-and-so's about to come home. Go put on some bigger shorts or whatever. Like, or you know, different things like that. And I remember like having those conversations with black women first, but like just women in general. And they like, yeah, like I went through that. I never thought it was okay, but it's just like, oh, well, mom said so-and-so's coming over, so go change. So now we got to go change. But then you talk to them now and like you think about like the psychology that comes with that. It's like, hold on. What's wrong with Uncle Robert that I got to put on the shorts when Uncle Robert come over? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That happens a lot, especially, the being like molested and raped. A lot of that happens like within families.
Absolutely.
So like families not addressing the issue and making like the girls have to change, the girls have to do this, like is like a huge issue, because then that bleeds on to like adulthood, or like when something happens to a girl, they're like, well, look what she was wearing, or look what she was saying, or look what, like, no, Uncle Jimmy needs to be put behind bars.
Yeah.
He's giving R. Kelly. Like,
I seen this lady on Instagram. I forget. I might have followed her, but she like makes like videos about that type of stuff. And you can't see. I'm pretty sure there was no one there. They just acting it out. But she's basically like, she's putting the groceries away. Her daughter, teenage daughter, like high school age daughter, is in the kitchen with her. And like you just hear like some man. You never see him, but it's like some man's from behind her. I'm like, oh, someone come give me a hug. And she's like, oh no, I'm cool. I don't want to give you a hug. And then he says to the mom, like, make your daughter come over here and give me a hug. She's like, no, my daughter don't have to hug nobody she don't want to hug. This is her house. And even we weren't at home, like, she hugs who she wants to hug and doesn't hug who she doesn't want. Like, and then you hear him again, like, oh, why are you being rude? Why are you being weird? We family. And she was like, well, if you think it's weird just because we family, then you can leave. This is my daughter's home, so you can leave. And then, like, she did her whole talk, like, that's how you, this is, if your kids are uncomfortable, da-da-da-da. I thought it was really dope that she did that.
That's cool.
I've had a lot of those conversations, and it's something I grew up in a house with boys. Like, I have two brothers. So that was never something that, like, I saw it, but it was never a conversation in my home.
Yeah.
And so, like, being an adult and, like, spending so much time around black women, spending a lot of time around black women, spending, like, pretty much all my time around black women and having those conversations, I never thought about that. And so the first time I heard that, and it was like, hold on, wait, you want me to change because my uncle's coming over here? And as a man, I'm just thinking, like, girls cover up when boys come around. Because I didn't grow up in a house with girls. Like, I got boys, I got brothers. And so it was never a thing that, like, I had to, like, and I started hearing that. She was like, that doesn't sound crazy to you? That, like, someone would have to cover up when their family comes around? That's not weird?
A specific family at that,
and I remember the lady said to me, she was like, the girl said to me, she was like, you just said you would spend summers at your female cousin's house, right? I was like, yeah. She was like, your aunt wouldn't make your cousins put on bigger clothes when you came around, but had to put on bigger clothes when that uncle came around, right? She was like, that's not weird to you? I was like, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I never thought about it. Never thought about it.
Yeah. Then you just end up being conditioned to think that it's normal.
That's deep.
Yeah.
Deep.
The struggles of being a woman. So with that being said, being that you have a son, like, what will you do, like, differently in, like, teaching your son, like, about women and respecting, like, women?
We're real big on that. And also it's more of a challenging thing because he has autism. So it's like, we already have those conversations because even with, like, with his little brother, even with me, it's not anything like crazy, but just like he'll want to, like, when he speaks, he'll like stand like right next to you.
Yeah.
Or like when he comes and says, like, instead of like tapping your shoulder, he'll put his hand on your shoulder and just leave it there. You know, something like, bro, like, get your hand off my shoulder. You know what I mean? And so we do have those conversations about, like, bro, you have to ask people before you touch them.
Yeah.
You need permission to touch anybody, boy or girl. You need permission before you touch anybody. So we already have those conversations already.
That's good.
Yeah, for sure.
That's good. Yeah.
And it was already like something that we were already going to be intentional about. Like, of course, we didn't know our son was going to have autism, but like it was, we spoke about that. Like, when we have kids, we're going to like make sure like they know, like, but it was something that like needed to be kicked in overdrive because he does have autism. He just like Like social, emotional stuff, he's delayed on. So it's like, he just
like
doesn't
the
know.
social cues and stuff like that. Yeah,
he just doesn't know. So it's like, bro, you have to ask. Like, you can just tap my shoulder. You don't got to leave your hand. So we have those conversations.
Yeah.
So to answer the question, we're already pretty intentional. Well, I am. Well, his mom, we're not together anymore, but like he and his mom, we're very intentional about.
That's good. Honestly, kudos to you guys both for being like proactive and just like, you know, addressing it in the best way, because you can't address it like in a regular way. You got to be like more gentle or like really understand like or teach him to understand like those social cues or boundaries.
For sure. Yeah, and he's only 7.
Parenting is hard.
For sure. Absolutely.
I wouldn't know, but seeing other people parent.
Absolutely it is.
Or counseling my like teens. I have a 6-year-old. My youngest client is 6 years old.
Wow.
I have teenagers, and I'll just be like, oh.
What's one of the, and not like putting their business out there, but like what's one of maybe like one of the wildest things one of your teenage clients has said to you? Not pertaining to like their like specific.
Man. So a part of URCC, I do groups. So sometimes teens will get felonies. And instead of the court giving them a felony on their record, they'll mandate them to come get counseling. Some of the stuff these kids are in there for are like, you got to grow up quick. You got to grow up really quick. I have this one girl in there who was telling me how she got into like a physical fight with an adult.
Yikes. And,
you know, we have people like addicted to like pills. So I would say like, I've heard some crazy stories.
Man. I easily cry watching TV. So I hearing, man. That would jack me up.
Yeah.
That would jack me up for sure.
Yeah. There's some, I'm trying to think if I've ever like cried in sessions. I've never cried during a session, but I've heard some crazy stories. When I was doing case management in the shelter, one of the ladies who was in there was because she started smoking meth because she had I don't know if he was like 3 or 5 years old. She had a baby. And in the middle of the night, her dog killed her baby. And they put her in jail for like a couple of years because her dog killed her baby. So can you imagine losing your kid and losing your freedom? So when she got out, she had nothing. She had no family. She had no son. Like, so she went to drugs and was never able to like maintain housing or keep housing. So like the stories that I have heard, I'm like, ugh.
That's heartbreaking.
Yeah, I think the hardest stories that I ever heard wasn't even in my counseling sessions, was in that homeless shelter. Man, it's yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
You know what? I mean, maybe not the best one to like promote it, but speaking of like, you know, heavier conversations, you were talking to me a little bit about articulated combat. Talk to me about that and like what that does and everything. Yeah,
so shout out to Evan, of course, again. But articulated combat, I always have a hard time describing it to people. So it's basically a setting where Evan has this like space and he goes up and he'll like say like a controversial topic or like ask a question. So these last 2 series have been about trauma. So like one of the like, so he'll ask a question in regards to trauma and people are able to go up there and speak their opinion about it. So one of the questions before was like, on a lighter note, like, does body count matter? So men will go up there and women will go up there. And then if 2 people start going back and forth, they have a debate table and it just like opens your eyes to see different perspectives. Like some women do think that body count matters and some women don't, and some men do and some men don't. But there's like different questions that they'll go up there that he'll like ask. And it's just like, yeah, a space to like connect with people and just think of things differently. Yeah.
I didn't know anything. Debating is one of my favorite things to do. I didn't know about the debate table. That makes me want to.
Yeah, you okay? So he's ready. Okay, Evan, he's about to come to.
Yeah, for sure. I was already coming with that. Yeah, for sure. I'm about to set my calendar now.
It's fun. And at first, I was like shy. I'm an extroverted person, but like getting up in front of people, I'm like, my voice starts shaking. So like once I start getting comfortable, I'll like go up there. But
have you ever taken a speech class?
I took one in undergrad, but it was like.
I tell when people tell me that like they get a lot of people do get nervous public speaking, even if it's just like a small crowd. But I took 2 speech classes and I like started a debate class I didn't get to finish. But that first speech class that I took, it helped me like all throughout life. Not even
really?
Just like, and I wasn't doing podcasting or broadcast. I remember a lot of that stuff from that class when I'm on camera. But even like just in everyday life, like speaking to people, like being an active listener, like I learned like a lot of stuff outside of just like, yeah, that speech class was dope. But that's why I asked when you said like your voice shakes and stuff like that. I feel like I've always like my parents making me like do Easter speeches and stuff at church. So I've always been speaking in front of people, but you still get nervous like speaking in front of people. But ever since that class, I don't really get nervous.
Maybe I need to go on like YouTube University and look up something free. I'm already in debt enough. I don't need to take any more classes. Yeah.
Do you think, this random question, but since it was on the show, do you think body count matters for man or woman?
No. If a guy ever asks me for my body count, I will block him. I'll block him so quick. I tell people this all the time. Don't ever, when I don't know, I'm not saying it's like an extreme number, but I don't sit here and I'm not in my notes like, okay, Peter, September 9th. Like, what? Like, no, what the heck? Like, yeah.
I feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Unless you're going to say something like crazy, like 5,000 people, I'm going to be like, ew.
Yeah, I think anyone would have that reaction, like, if you find out, like, something like that. But then even, like, this is Wilt Chamberlain. Have you, the NBA player Wilt Chamberlain?
No.
They say he's, and of course, like, his career, he slept with over 1,000 women. I'm like, how would you know? Yeah. I maybe thinking like roughies, like, well, they sleep with a different girl every day. There's 365 days in a year. Maybe they like ballparking it, but I'm like, it's got to be a lie. Like, how would you know the number? Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to dictate the number. So if someone, I don't think that it matters. Yeah. Not that, I guess that would be the only way it would matter if someone like knew and would ask. But I was about to say, not that like someone would ask you, but I mean like, yeah, but she said no. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Also, I don't think it matters either. People probably lie all the time. I totally. What agree. The heck? I think. Did you say you're gonna lie? No. No. If you ask this buddy, he's like 2. No, it's funny that you said that. I actually do. It's not very high at all, but I actually do know my count. Now it's because in like, I forget what year it was, but I was like maybe, and I'll be 35 in November, but I was like maybe like 20, it was in my early 20s. And I remember I was able to like, I was like, I think I know my number. But and ever since then, I've known. And it's just nothing crazy. Yeah. No, I don't. I'm like, I'm like, damn. I'm here trying to think. I'm like, damn. What is? I'm just. But so people who have lost their virginities later on in life, it's easier for you to know. Or people who've been in like long-term relationships, like. And I wasn't in a long relationship for a while. Exactly. So, that makes sense. Depends on when you lose your virginity and how many long-term relationships you've had. Yeah, that's mad. Yeah. That's probably what needs to be asked after that. Like if you ask somebody's body count, you got to ask those 2 questions too. Yeah. But if you're asking a body count, you're a loser. Yeah. In my opinion, that's not a respectful thing to say. If you're asking for somebody's body count, stand on it. That's something a loser asks for sure. Yeah, it's just like an insecurity thing. Like, why are you? What does that have to do with us? I had, I've been a part of those conversations before, and one guy said he was like, I want to make sure I'm not going somewhere where the whole town has been. And I was like, I do feel that, but I feel like if you want to figure that out, you're supposed to like ask questions about like not necessarily like direct questions about past, but like how long have you lived here? Like what have you been into? Like what do you do? Like how do you do that? And if the answer is like, oh, I normally go downtown, and if that's not your thing, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like you could figure out. You can tell on Instagram, see who you guys have in common, the mutual people, and then ask about those people or. There's lots of ways you could find that out, but I don't think that the amount of people someone has had sex with determines their value. Because what I've heard is people are like, well, are you going to get a car without knowing their miles? Like, why are you comparing women to cars? Like, and I said that too. I'm like, you realize that they operate completely different. Okay, let's not. So. Yeah. I kind of almost regret that I even asked you that on the podcast. I don't really like. I don't mind. Don't regret it. I don't mind having those conversations, but like when they like, it's like, and again, that's also like a podcast topic that's been like beat to death. So it's like, yeah. It's a good question. Yeah, but you're enjoying San Diego. You loving it here? I do. I'm still deciding if I want to stay here long term or if it's like a 2-year thing but I don't know. When I first moved out here, I was like, okay, I'm only going to stay out here for 2 years, and I've been out here for 4.
So I guess it just depends on the opportunity. Like, there's nothing tying me down here. Like, I'm not in a relationship. I don't have kids. Like, so I really could go wherever and do whatever. So I'm just kind of like taking it.
I got you. That makes sense.
Day by day. Well, not day by day, but like,
Playing it by ear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, you want to set plans and like have a layout of what you want to do. But I think the best thing to do is to play things by ear.
Yeah.
Being so strictly on your, like I said, have a plan and have like an outline of what you want to do, but
allow yourself to
you can call an audible whenever you want.
Yeah. And I think that for me, for so long, I was a planner. Like, okay, this is my 2-year plan. This is my 5-year plan. This is my this. This is my this. And when I took that time off, that 6 months off work, I learned to just like let things be. Like, yes, obviously I have like a plan of like where I want my life to go and like what I want to do, but also just like releasing that control, because you really don't have control over anything. The cards are already played out. Like,
yep. I've always known that, but that's something I've been like experiencing in real time within the last I want to say 3 years or so. Like, things are gonna, you can plan and plan and plan all you want, but life is gonna be life, and you got to be able to roll with the punches.
Yeah, everything works out in the way it's supposed to. What I try to do is I try to be more intentional about the way like I speak to myself and the way that I just speak in general. So like, I'll never say things like I'm broke or I'm poor. Like, I'm always just like, money's continuously flowing to me. Like, I speak in those types of, because
I've been trying to actively practice that recently too. Like, I was telling my mom, she was like, I like, like older people, they hear like some of the things that like quote unquote younger people say, that's really cool. But I was telling my mom, I was like, I've been trying to like practice more positive self-talk recently.
Yes.
Cause like I was always like that as a kid, because I was always like a dreamer, like I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. It was always like, you know what I mean? And I'm still like, I'm still a dreamer. I still have goals. I still have things I want to do, but I don't know. I think I've like found myself like being so like strictly realistic about what's going on right now. Like, bro, I ain't got the bread to do that. I ain't got the time to do that. And I'm just always like, I can't, I won't, I don't, I can't. And it's like,
and then you don't. And
exactly.
then you figure out like, the more you keep saying you don't have the time or you don't have the money, the more you don't.
And I used to be, it's so funny. My older brother was that way, and I used to, I'm like, bro, stop doing that all the time. Like, I ain't gonna have the time to get there. I ain't got the money. Like, bro, we'll figure it out. If you want to do it, we can do it. Like, stop doing that. And I ended up being one of those people like, bro, I ain't got the time to do that, bro. Like, I'm busy. I gotta edit. I ain't got the time to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been trying to like, I'm going to do that. Or like, money's gonna be Yeah. I'm absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you.
Because I used to be like that too, and I just realized that you just have to let stuff be. I'm really big on experiences. So like, even with me, like, I'm like, I got $20 in my bank account. If I really want to go get something and it's $5, I'm gonna go get it, because I have faith that money's gonna be flowing to my bank account. So I'm gonna spend that 5 out of that 20 on something that I probably don't need.
I've realized that when you move with that energy, like things take care of themselves.
Always.
When you think it's not gonna work out, or you're scared, and you end up staying in the house, and it probably would have worked out. If it's just like you said, it's like, I probably should supposed to save this $5, but I know I'm gonna make some money tomorrow. I'm gonna get some more money tomorrow, and I really want that, so I'm gonna go get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I'm right there with you.
And every time it works out. So that's just the faith that I try to move on.
Same.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you. I've been trying to like, are you religious at all?
I wouldn't say, I believe in God, but I wouldn't say that I'm like religious.
Okay. Well, I was only asking because, like I said, my dad is a pastor.
Yeah.
And I've been in church. I've been a Christian my whole life. And
Yeah.
so I believe in tithing.
Yeah.
And in my experience, whenever I've been like actively and consistently tithing, I've never had to worry about money.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
And so that's something. Not just because I want, not just because I always want to have money in my pocket. I've been like trying to like get back into church and like get back to tithing and like doing all that stuff too. So I've been like, really, like, in all facets of my life, been really trying to, like, be much more intentional.
Yeah.
Like, doing positive things, like, trying to, like, just grow in every area. Trying to grow in every area.
Yeah. I think that kind of goes across the board. 'Cause even people who like, I believe in God, but even people who don't believe in God and they're just like, oh, the universe, when they have that faith, that same faith that you have in God, when they have that same faith in the universe, things always work out.
I
Like,
agree.
you know, it's just like the manifesting or the praying or all of those things. Like, it always ends up working out, whatever it is that you have faith in and that you dedicate your mind to. Like,
it's real.
Yeah.
I know a girl, and one of the first days I met her, she was like, good stuff just happens to me. Good stuff always happens to me. We went to a football game. It was running late. It's like, it's gonna be hard to find parking. She was like, we'll figure it out. Good stuff always. And she said that. Good stuff always happens.
Yeah, I always
we got there and we found a perfect parking spot.
Yes.
When and always, she always says like, God loves me. She always says God loves me. Good things always happen to me. And she never she's like, it's not like she's like, not like a lucky thing or da-da-da. She's like, no, I have good energy flowing in me and out of me, and good things happen to me. And she walks in that and believes it.
Yes, and it happens. Yes. I practice that parking thing all the times. In my head, I'm like, I'm about to go downtown. Padres game is on. In my head, I'm like, I'm not going to find no parking. And I'm like, no, I'm going to find parking because I'm lucky. There's going to be parking right exactly where I need it to be. There's going to be parking. And it mostly ends up working out.
You know what's funny? Like, now that I'm thinking about it, when I was a kid and I was always like this, like super like ambitious, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm so great, but I'm gonna do these great things and everything's so positive. I'm like thinking back to my childhood, I would always find money. Like, people would always give me things. I would always went to I remember one time I went to some random like cookout with like a former like baseball teammate of mine. Yeah. And like, I was just like, I remember his mom said it to me in the car. He's like, you just being nice to everyone there. And when I was a kid, I was like real acrobatic, like doing backflips and stuff like that. And I did a backflip like off of the table. And I met like this lady that like worked in some like kids circus thing. So like kids would like come and like tumble, and like I hated animals, but like play with the animals and like tumble and like make a lot of money. Yeah. Like travel around like and do this circus thing. I remember like I showed it to my mom. She was like, you really don't understand like how much favor you have. Like how does that... Like, how do you just end up doing a backflip off the table and now you're in a circus? Somebody wants to pay you to do backflips? Yeah. Like, how does that happen? She's like, you have favor, son. You need to remember that. You have favor in walking that. And so like, and when she would like, as a kid hearing that, I would say that all like how like my friends like, a good thing happened to me. I would say that as a kid all the time. Like, I got favor. Something's gonna work out. And as I've gotten older, I'm not like a negative person. I'm not trying to say that, but as I've gotten older, I've gotten away from that. And I've realized that, and now I'm trying to like
step back into that. That's a good point, because growing up, I was always the opposite. I was one of those people that crazy stuff would always happen to me. Like, my friends, if you talk to my friends, they'll make jokes about it. Like, okay, it's just Lex. The sky fell, and the only person it hit was Lex, and you wouldn't be surprised because that was Lex. So, like, everyone would have this joke, and I would just have this joke. Well, like, okay, well, I already knew that was going to happen, so just me. And I stopped with that trajectory, and I was like, okay, like, no, I have good luck, and ever since I started thinking like that, knock on wood, I have not had anything bad happen to me since like the last crazy thing that happened to me. But other since then, that was the last crazy thing, and that was like 4 years ago.
And so it's so like, for me anyway, it's been really interesting because like you say like you say and hear and like all like the positive affirmations, like your thoughts become things and like this and that, and like, and you know it's true. You know it's true, but like until like it either something negatively or positively affects your life to make you like, I've always known it's true, but now I know for a fact that it's true because it happened for me or to me, you know? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that'll give you faith for real. So, yeah, I've been it's been, I want to say like the last like 2.5 years been really interesting for me. Like trying to grow this show, finding out I have ADHD, and like the way my life has been moving lately. Like I've been enjoying it, but it's been an interesting thing for sure. It's been like a turn, or like you said before, you were like a planner. So ever since all this stuff has changed, you're probably like, okay, well, I didn't plan for this. So probably you're just trying to like navigate your new road. I feel that. Trying to. I want to say try. I've been actively enjoying it. I didn't have to try to do that. I'm enjoying it, but like trying not to like steer it so much. Like I got my hand on the wheel, but I'm not at 10 and 2. I'm chilling. I got my hand there, but I'm not at 10 and 2. Yes. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm enjoying the ride. I'm cruising, but I'm Okay, I'm trying to not be at 10 and 2. I'll say that. I'm trying to not have my hands at 10 and 2. I'm trying to just sit back and chill and just enjoy the cruise.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I feel that because same. I don't know if you believe in signs, but I'm a Capricorn, so I'm like business plan this. So I be driving like this. Even literally, if you sign me, when you see me drive off, I'm gonna be like this in the car. I don't even do 10 and 2. What is this like 1 and 11? I be like this. This wheel not going nowhere.
So what? Okay, I don't know anything. I'm finding more validity in it. I never really like put much like stock into like the zodiac sign.
Yeah.
I am finding more and more validity in it. I don't know I'm a Scorpio, but I don't know anything about like what are supposed to be like the traits of Scorpios.
I don't really know too much about Scorpios. Okay. Yeah, other than they're like very in tune with their emotions. I heard there's like different kinds of Scorpios. There are ones that are like super intense, very like passionate. So I don't know too much about Scorpios. I know a lot about my own sign. I feel like I'm very much, when people hear about Capricorns, they're like, yeah, you're a Capricorn.
Okay, my older brother's a Capricorn. Tell me about Capricorns. Let's see if he fits the mold.
People tell us that we're very just like business oriented. Like everything's a business plan. Everything's a plan. Like we have a goal. But also that we can be like very like stern and set in our ways and stubborn.
That's my brother.
We think that we're always right.
Absolutely. That's my brother for sure. That's funny. Like I said, like when I was young, like the thing that would turn me off about it when someone were to be like, I hate liars. I'm a Leo. I'm like, but who likes liars though?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it made me like not.
It doesn't have to coincide. Oh, you just lied about that because you're a Gemini.
Yeah, it's like everyone lies.
You're
like not
yeah.
only Gemini, you know. So it made me like there ain't no validity in that. But as I've gotten older and like paying
some
attention
of it
to
is,
it, I'm
yeah.
like, oh, you know what? I see some validity there.
Yeah.
I never like and I asked because whenever I ask people about Scorpios, they say like, oh, y'all are crazy. Like y'all are freaks and y'all are crazy. That's
I've
all
heard
I ever
that
hear.
too. That's why I said passionate.
Okay.
I said passionate and very in tune with your emotions.
Okay. So those are the same things you've heard?
I mean, my mom's a Scorpio, so she was very like intense, like.
Okay.
So.
Okay. I don't know if I'm intense. I'd have to ask around.
I don't get that from you.
I was about to say
I don't get the intense vibes. Your birthday's November? What?
November 7th.
Like I said, I heard that there's October Scorpios and November Scorpios. My mom's an October Scorpio, so.
Okay.
But maybe that's getting too much into that's a little too much.
Wait, too much into what?
Like the zodiac. Because then, also like you can go deeper and you can know like your moon, your rising, like your sun, like you can know your different signs and you can have characteristics in between those. So like if you're into that, I'm all earth signs. So that means that I'm very like grounded. How
do you know? Is it like same by the days?
It goes by your birthday. So for you to find out all of that, you have to know your birthday, the time you were born, It's very specific to when the stars were in the sky when you were born. And I feel like me being earth signs all across, like, is very, like, me. Like, I feel like I'm a very grounded person. And you could tell if someone's, like, air signs all across because they're very, like, daydreamy, like, in the clouds, like, kind of, like, just live day by day. Like
that sounds like me. Like, I make like an outlined plan, and I expect it to go with that, but I'm not upset when the plan isn't followed. Well, I wasn't. As I've gotten older, I've found myself getting upset.
So maybe your other signs are air signs. Maybe have some placements in some air
you got me one. Like I said, I never really
look
cared
it up
before,
now. Look it up.
Into it.
Just like, Mom, what time was I born?
Exactly.
And you can find out.
I'm not even sure. Yeah, I'm not even sure what time I was born.
That's how you find it out.
I'm gonna look into that for sure. I've enjoyed this conversation with you, Lex. It's been dope. I was about to say I'm not ready to leave, but I don't really have any other questions for you. So maybe that might mean it's time to wrap it up. But
I know.
It's been a lot of fun.
Let me see if there's all. Did you cover them all?
I think I got them all.
No, I had fun too. I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Having me out here. Can't wait to do your rug. And like, now that I see this table, I'm like, I'm really glad that you're coming up on this list because.
Me too. I can't wait. Oh, I can't wait. I've been waiting.
Yeah.
Well, not like.
I know you've been waiting. You've been waiting.
Not like eager. Like this needs to happen. I just can't wait because like I said, I've been like ready to like spruce up my set. And I was at Love Target. I was at Target over the weekend. Well, no, last weekend. And I was like looking at rugs. I was like, I should get a little something to just put here until my rug is ready. I was like, no, I'm gonna wait. You
can even do like a wall hanging rug if you wanted to. You can do it on the ground, or you can do it up there.
I'm looking.
Look it up. Look it up.
Now I'm looking at the camera like, where do I?
Yeah, look up how you want it to be set up.
For sure. Yeah.
Or what I can do is I can place like hooks on it, and you can just have it as a rug, or you can have it as a wall hang.
That's what we'll do.
All right.
And then if it decides to live there, then I have to just order another one.
That works too.
Yeah, do that. Do that. It's a lot of fun. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you. Absolutely. You're welcome back anytime. If you got like, want to bring some rugs up here and show them, or anytime you want to come up here and promote anything, you're more than welcome.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Ain't Got It Yet podcast, episode 29. Lex, Tuft Luv, hit her up. I was about to say you're on the waiting list, but it's closed. You're going to have to wait.
Yeah, sorry.
Thanks for tapping in. Until next time, take care.